Hey everyone, it's Zack Beck. Meme stock trading has been on the rise over the last year, with retail investors pouring tons of money into struggling companies like AMC and GameStop. They're hoping to turn a small investment into a large windfall, and many people are gathering a lot of their information about these investments on places like Wall Street Bets. But a huge warning has just been issued by someone who accurately predicted the dot-com bubble, the housing bubble, and who even recently predicted the fall of Tesla share prices. And what I want to do in this video is break down in detail what his prediction is, how it could potentially affect the prices of these struggling companies, and what you should be doing right now to protect yourself and preserve your wealth so you can move forward and achieve your long-term financial goals. So let's take our time, dive into the details, and jump into it right now. As previously mentioned, meme stock trading has been on the rise lately. That is thanks in large part to what is happening on Wall Street Bets, where people are aggregating their information and being able to make their investing decisions accordingly. This specifically affected companies like GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, and others. And what we found is that people were identifying different stocks that had been shorted and then causing people to pour money into those struggling companies to boost the price of them up so they could create an infinite money loop and actually be able to monetize themselves off of that. We saw this happen significantly with GameStop, where the share prices went almost up to $450, and even recently we saw AMC shoot above $60 a share, and that is a significant return when you compare to where they actually should be sitting and where they've gone ever since. But what we are seeing is that the individual named Michael Burry, who was featured in The Big Short, someone who understands shorting stocks very well, says that we are in the midst of a bubble in the meme stock trading space, and he is predicting a crash in this particular space because of the frenzy that is going on with all the retail investors pouring money into these struggling companies. For some context, Michael Burry accurately predicted the housing crash of 2008 and benefited significantly off of that by betting against the housing market. And more recently, he bet against Tesla, actually shorting the stock, predicting that it would fall, and it actually did. So from that standpoint alone, he has some credibility when it comes to making specific predictions. And what he believes specifically in the retail space associated with meme stocks is that he believes that retail investors are already fully invested. And he actually says the following. He says, "I don't know when meme stocks such as this will crash, but we probably do not have to wait too long, as I believe the retail crowd is fully invested in this theme and Wall Street has jumped on the coattails. In addition, he says that we're running out of new money available to jump on the bandwagon." So what Michael Burry is getting at is that people have already been pouring a lot of money into these various investments. If you yourself might have got caught up in the mania that happened recently, we had this happen not only with AMC over the last few months, but even at the beginning of the year when we saw GameStop getting national media attention. Then we had people pouring tons of money into these investments, liquidating their savings account, crashing out their 401ks, doing everything they could to put money into these investments, hoping that it would be an astronomical return, but it didn't turn out that way. And a lot of those people who put all that money in don't have anywhere else to go to put more money in. So from that standpoint alone, we are seeing that Michael Burry is predicting that it is not sustainable for these prices to continue to rise because retail investors cannot continue to buy the stock. Over the last year, we've seen wild swings in these particular companies, with AMC up nearly 2,500% and GameStop up over 1,000%. So those are substantial returns that we're seeing in those various companies in this short period of time. But relatively speaking, when you compare it to the S&P 500, it's obviously more attractive to consider getting that type of return, but the inherent risk associated with investing in these companies is significantly higher. And that is what we have seen happen over the last year, is that some people have been able to make money on this, but what happens more often is that people who are jumping into the bandwagon a little late are the ones who are going to get hurt the most and actually be the bag holders at the end of the day. I made a whole different video about this when it related to Dogecoin and other things that we see happen, where we want to actually buy the rumor and sell the news. And what I mean by that is that oftentimes, once we get to the point where we have national media attention on a specific company, a stock, or some sort of a cryptocurrency or anything to that extent, it is probably too late for us to actually benefit or profit from that, because the people who have invested earlier are the ones who are getting the most return. So if you came in and purchased a GameStop share more in the late January timeframe when they were up near $375, you're not going to get the type of return that you would hope for in comparison to the person who bought it $5. So from that perspective, I think it's important for us to understand that yes, we are seeing eye-popping returns so far from a percentage perspective, but the people who have actually benefited from that is very small. So if you got caught up in all that mania and actually put money to work in GameStop, AMC, or others, I just want to caution you that moving forward, forward, we could see a substantial crash coming. Not guaranteeing that this is going to happen, but I would say Mr. Burry is generally right in his predictions, so it's worthwhile at least noting that, especially if you have a lot of your finances tied into either of these companies. And it's not just AMC or GameStop. If you're continuously looking on places like Wall Street Bets, they're pushing new companies, new cryptos all the time to be able to put money into. And all I can say is that it's a dangerous strategy for you to employ, especially when you're utilizing your own hard-earned money to put it to work in the stock market. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, because you have to make your own decision based off of what's best for yourself and your own risk tolerance. I can only tell you what I do, and my approach is very different. I do not go and pick individual stocks because I believe that is inherently more risky. And generally speaking, when you look at the historical averages, if you just put your money into places that are a little more secure and stable over time, you're going to be more consistent with your investments and actually make more money. And specifically, what I like to do is utilizing index funds, where basically I just invest into the broad stock market as a whole, and then that is going to return anywhere between 7 to 10% on an average basis. And if I receive that type of return and I'm consistent, that will produce the types of results I need to secure my financial future. So if you're thinking about actually placing a lot of money into a speculative company, whether it's AMC, GameStop, or something else, just pause for a moment and think about what implications this could have. Because yes, it is exciting when we see stock prices go parabolic and just go continuously higher than we could ever have expected. But on the flip side, it could actually go down at just as fast of a rate. So if you're ready to lose your money, you can go ahead and invest in those companies. And once again, I'm just a guy on YouTube. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just giving you my perspective. But if you think about it from the standpoint of being more safe and secure with your money, try and find a strategy that works well for you, and be cautious, understanding that people who might even have more experience and better understanding of this are predicting that these could actually fall in the future. The most important thing you can do in light of this meme stock trading frenzy is to short the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I'm just kidding, but if you wouldn't mind tapping the like button, that would actually help the channel out a lot, help push this video to other people who might need to hear it so they can make wise decisions and not get hurt by this potential situation. An important takeaway when it comes to meme stock trading is understanding the way that we actually think as human beings and how we make our decisions. Sometimes we get looped into what is called groupthink, where basically we have a community of people who are acknowledging some sort of a decision that should be made, and we just kind of go along with everyone else. And I believe what we're seeing right now on Wall Street Bets is a really big place where we're seeing confirmation bias and people receiving news that they only want to hear, and that is dictating the types of decisions that they make. And that to me is a very dangerous situation to find yourself in. Whether this is investing or in life as a whole, you want to be really careful when you're just surrounding yourself with people or with information that is only confirming what you want to believe or what you hope is going to happen. So if you're continuously looking on Wall Street Bets to make your financial decisions about your hard-earned money, you're really placing a big risk and a lot of faith into other people who might not have your best interests at heart. I'm only saying this from the standpoint because I really want you to achieve your financial goals. I want you to live a life where you're not having to be stressed out with your money, but that way you're free to think about other ways that you can make a positive impact in this world and lead a more fulfilling life. So from that standpoint alone, I hope that if you're spending time on places like Wall Street Bets, that you just do so with caution. I'm not saying you don't do that, but understand that people who are on there might even have not your best interest at heart, because you might not even be interacting with real people. A lot of bots operate on there, and they might be operated by hedge funds that are hoping to profit off of you. So you just got to be really careful. You want to be mindful of what you're actually hoping to achieve with your finances, and realizing that the percentage likelihood chance that you're going to 10x, 100x, or 1000x your money is relatively small unless you're continuously navigating this terrain and you're doing more on a risky basis with your money. Now, if you want to be more passive and have a more peaceful approach towards your wealth building, then do something that's going to be easier for you to follow and something that's not going to prevent you from actually investing long term. One of the downsides I have seen, what we've seen occur over the last year, specifically with meme stock trading, is people get excited about investing because they want to build wealth. They place a bunch of money in, they lose all of their money, and then they never want to invest again. And that perpetuates a cycle where they're not going to be able to build generational wealth and be able to live the type of life that they want. Whereas if you have a structure in place and you're consistent and daily or weekly or monthly putting money into the market in an area that you understand, that should help you significantly, and that'll allow you to be the consistent type of investor that can achieve the long-term finances that you're hoping to acquire. Now, if you're looking to find a way to actually invest strategically, like I said before, I utilize index funds. I have a link in the description for Wealthfront if you want to check that out. It's a very easy and intuitive way to begin investing. You could try that, or you could try something else, whatever you find that works for you. I don't want to have anything that's going to be influencing your decision based off of my perspective. I'm just telling you what I think, but also what I do relative to what is going on around me and how it's benefiting myself from a financial perspective already. So that's one thing that you could do, but make sure that you're really mindful and sober when you're considering your investments, because I don't want you to get hurt and lose your money in the long run. And also you want to have other pillars in place to help protect your money, making sure that you're avoiding lifestyle inflation, avoiding debt, saving money, and cutting your expenses where you can, so you have the freedom to actually build a positive net worth instead of having a negative net worth. So overall, just have that structure in place, and it really should help you if Mr. Burry's prediction becomes correct, and if your money is tied up into these other stocks. Hopefully you can get out of this and find a better way forward so that you have more peace of mind, and more importantly, profit overall. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. If you wouldn't mind, please tap the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Help push this video to other people who might need to hear it. Furthermore, if you wouldn't mind, please comment down below. I'd love to interact with you, get to know you, do any research on your behalf so you can make well and wise informed decisions moving forward. Furthermore, if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. That would mean a lot to myself personally, as I do everything I can to create positive content that makes a positive impact in your life by encouraging you and myself to lead lives of meaning and purpose, all while maintaining balance and moderation. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please tap the notification bell. That will notify you every time I post a video, which I do on a weekly basis. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I hope you have a wonderful May day. Talk to you next time. Whoop.